Hey there, Brent Lancaster here with Bob Brooks School. Been doing market updates, monitor the market in Louisiana for quite some time. Usually whether my live video stream classes or my classroom classes, we like to start a little bit with it. So what I decided to do is every month I'm just going to kind of come out and give you an overview of where we are from a Louisiana market. So I hope it's something that you enjoy, something that you can look forward to. Before we get rolling, I got some courses this week, this Wednesday, June 18th. The mandatory, get that mandatory in, also real estate market trends. We'll be taking a much bigger deep dive into some of the things that we've been discussing or that we're going to talk about here today. The next day on Thursday, we've got fair housing, mandatory course for you realtor members, and also 7 Deadly Sins of Pricing Property, one of my personal favorites in order to teach. So you have some time this week. You want to knock out all 12 hours, fire away. If you're busy one or more of those days, the next Thursday, June 26th, we've got an agent to investor course. If you've ever thought about becoming an investor in real estate, that's a great sort of intro course. Also property management. That's designed for current property managers and also people that are interested in property management. We kind of lay the groundwork for those. So this is what June looks like for us. We look forward to seeing you in a course. Of course, you can always get those at bobbrooks.com. We also have the next few months course calendar up as well. So let's jump into the market. First thing we want to take a look at is median sales price. So median means middle. So for example, in Louisiana, all of Louisiana, 50% of the properties in Louisiana sold above $245,755, and 50% of the properties in Louisiana sold below that number. And so color-coded blue basically means there's no change month over month. So we looked at last month versus this month. There's going to be no change there. The red means that there's a decrease. So for example, in the northwest portion of the state, the northeast portion of the state, there has been a little bit of a decrease, 6% and 3%. And then the green basically means there's been a rise. So you can kind of take a look at your specific area, see what your median sales price is, and then see whether it's going up or down relative to those months. Just something that's notable. Baton Rouge, obviously I live here, so it's something that I keep track of. April of 2022, it's kind of hovered around this number. And so between 260, 255, 263-ish is probably pretty been stable in Baton Rouge. But just kind of take a look at what those are and the variations. The next number I want to look at is inventory. Again, in Louisiana, month over month, the inventory stayed quite the same. You've got some pretty big variations here. I don't think it's a surprise that inventory's risen in most of the markets, but there's 3 markets I want to take a look at: Northeast, Fort Polk, and then the Lafayette area. Obviously the Lafayette, something's going on there as well. Northeast increased by 31%. So inventory went from 711 to 932 year over year, when you start looking at that as well. So 31% increase from 2024 to 2025, which is a pretty big jump there as well. Fort Polk's the same way. From 2024 to 2025, you see a 29% increase, 100 more units. So that's a pretty substantial, about a third of the inventory's been increasing there as well. The one anomaly is going to be the Lafayette area. So that actually has gone down by about 83 units, which is quite interesting. Obviously, across the country, you're hearing where inventory is rising. Those of you in Lafayette, not the case. You actually had an inventory decline there as well. Be curious for those of you that are in that market, why? And so leave me a comment, shoot me an email. Maybe we'll cover that in next month's video. So I'm just kind of curious there as well. The final number I want to look at is closed sales. I want to compare, closed sales to you means money in your pocket. And so I want to take a look at, is the market share, is the pie actually increasing or decreasing? Looks like I chopped off my arm. There's so much red in here. So closed sales, I think it's safe to say, are down. Right? And so I think it's quite interesting. You do have a couple of markets where closed sales have actually increased, which basically means there's more sales year over year than there. So particularly in the Southwest, we saw a pretty large decrease in sales, about 19%. 214 sales this time last year, 173 this time this year. So a pretty big decline there. But let's talk about the parts that are increasing. I know it's only 7 units, but it is a 3.6% increase. I decided to put it in green. I wanted to be positive. Some would say, hey, 3.6 isn't a whole lot. Generally, I like to keep my blue numbers about 1% or less. So for those of you in the Northeast, you're right at the same, if not increasing year over year number of sales. That means there were 7 more sales at this point this year than there were last year. And then Bayou Board, something happened. Again, for those of you in that area that could give me some reason as to why, I'd love to hear from you. But a 25%, almost a 26% increase in closed transactions, which basically means your market, your pie essentially is getting bigger. I do think what we're going to see over time is these numbers start turning into green. As we start moving into sort of the later summer, I think interest rates are going to stabilize, if not decline a little bit, and we should see these numbers look good. But the other thing that I kind of took a look at was not only the year over year numbers, but the year to date, right? So where do we stand in all of these markets from January 1 until today, right? As opposed to last January 1 until today. And that's kind of what this looks like. Again, it's a 5% decrease year over year this month, but only a 2.7% year to date. Northwest, you're pretty much the same there. Northeast, we saw a 3.6% increase. You've had 15% more closings this year since January than at this point in time last year. And so a lot of these numbers are going to smooth out. So it looks like the month in itself was pretty bad. Southwest was down 19.2 last month, but ultimately 7.3% down on the year. And so again, your 25% increase in the Bayou Board as in the month, you're still down 2.5% from January into this year. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a perspective about where we're headed. I love to look at closed sales, particularly that's an internal number. I don't know that I tell my clients that, but I do think it's a really good number to be able to track to determine, all right, how many sales are out there, right? The good news is that business is still happening. It's just not happening to the clip that it was last year. I do expect it to increase year over year. So that just kind of gives you a snapshot. I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts. If you have any reasons as to why your market's reacting the way it is, reach out to me. Reply to this email, shoot me an email, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about it as well. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you in a class real soon.